the Super Eagles are up against the Cheetahs of Benin Republic this evening. I think about 8 p.m. I'll check the time. It's the AFCON Qualifiers. I know right here on the show we love to support our Super Eagles. Sports journalist Adebayo Sulaiman, they know him as Pooja, joins us. So yes, those are the boys. Yes, getting ready, training, I guess, last night. So we're going to be joined by Pooja on the program to bring us up to speed with what the level of preparation is.
And Pooja, by the way, is in Abidjan.
No, it's in Lagos, Nigeria.
Oh, it's in Lagos.
It's in Abuja. Okay, Pooja, we're confused as to where you are. So let's begin with you. Pooja, welcome to the program.
We're confused for a moment. You know, you're usually in Abidjan.
You're always with the boys.
Days to the match. So we're wondering why you're not there right now.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I'm not in Abidjan. I'm actually in Lagos because they were playing Rwanda in Uyo on Monday. So I'll be traveling tomorrow to Uyo for their arrival back to Nigeria for the last qualifying game against Rwanda on Monday.
So let's get to the business of that will be happening tonight in Côte d'Ivoire as far as this is concerned. So give us an outlook of the level of preparations, because as people like Bukola, who, you know why, when they look at the plenty names and the big boys, they feel like, come on, Bukola has been giving us big predictions. When she hears Osimhen, Boniface, all of these guys, Ademola Lookman, our incoming CAF footballer of the year, and all of, let me sound like a politician, incoming. Bukola feels like this should be like 5-0. So,
yes,
but you are the expert here. Walk us through what we should be expecting as far as this match is concerned in terms of the technical preparations.
Well, it's a good one for Nigeria. You know, for the first time, you know, in a long time, these players got to camp as early as possible. As at Tuesday night, everybody, it was full house for the Super Eagles. Every player called up was in town in Côte d'Ivoire, and it looks like they really mean business. But if you look at Benin Republic, they are not pushovers. Remember, they defeated us in this Côte d'Ivoire during the World Cup qualifiers under Gernot Rohr. They beat us 2-1. And when they came to Nigeria, we defeated them. So it's more like a balanced game. And for Benin Republic, they need a point as well to secure them, maybe to finish second on the log. And of course, we need just 1 point from these two games to qualify for AFCON in Morocco next day. So it's not a pushover, you know, kind of game. But of course, I can tell you that the boys are ready. The big boys are in town. Osimhen is back into the squad. You know, Ademola Lookman is fine on all cylinders. Boniface is scoring. So it looks like a balanced and a well, you know, prepared team. And, you know, by 8 o'clock today, we'll see if the training and, of course, the talk from these players come to pass on the pitch of play.
Now, Pooja, especially because of that worry that they beat us in the last championship and the fact that they're being coached by Gernot Rohr, who was our coach at one time and who knows us very well. In fact, some would say that he gave us the 3-5-2 formation. So should we be worried that this is a former family member that knows, you know, all the locations of our furniture and everything that is important about our approach to playing?
Okay, you know, we listened to the press conference of the coach yesterday, you know, Austin Gilmore. He said, as much as Gernot Rohr knows us, we know him very well as well. So it's a balanced, you know, game for both parties. He knows us very well. I must confess to you, he gave most of these players their debut as players, even when he was coaching Nigeria. So we know him very well as well. You know, we defeated him in the last qualifier. And the boys know the coach very well. They know his tactics, they know his reasoning, they know his philosophy, they've adapted well under him, you know, during when he was coaching Nigeria. So it's a big game for him as well because they needed to, they need points at home because they can't play in Benin Republic because of the stadium. But they've been doing well in Côte d'Ivoire. Remember, they defeated Rwanda here the last time they played. The last time they played the Super Eagles here as well, they defeated us in the World Cup qualifier. So he knows us very well. He knows how to play us. Even in Uyo last time we played in the AFCON qualifier, it was a big game. It took the intelligence of Ademola Lookman and of course Victor Osimhen to give us that victory. So we need them again. We need the players to come to practice again to show, you know, Gernot Rohr that even if he knows us very well, we can do the business in Côte d'Ivoire.
All right, Pooja, let's talk about the formation. What's the formation we're using and how is it going to be this time? Because some coaches do static formation. So if we go 4-4-2, 3-5-2, whatever formation we choose, we stick to it. But some have a progressive formation, depending on how the opponent approaches them. What's a Guavon style on this particular one from what you see and what you've experienced?
I think Guavon is a manager that is trying to adapt to the team. He wants the players to understand his philosophy, because we know quite well that these are the last 2 games in the AFCON qualifier, and we have the big one in March, talking about the World Cup qualifier. So he will stick to his formation. I think that has worked for him very well. The 3-4-3 formation, 3 at the back and 4, pack the midfield, and of course play, the guys from the flanks to play, to service the guys. And because Osimhen is back into the team, I think that will be the best, because we need Osimhen in that front line. I think, Victor Boniface, who have not scored an international goal for the Super Eagles, you have to be on the bench. And of course, you have the likes of Simon Moses and Adama Lukman to service Victor Osimhen. So I think it's going to be a 3-4-3 formation, which of course has given him enough results in this qualifier. So I don't think it's going to change his pattern. It's going to change his philosophy, because the players need to understand his philosophy going forward, because, like I said, the biggest game that we have to face will be in the World Cup qualifier. And remember, we are playing Rwanda and Benin Republic also in the World Cup qualifier. So we need to know how to play them in this AFCON qualifier, because we are playing them again in the World Cup qualifiers.
Speaking of Guavon, looking at his strides, do you think he's getting more comfortable and confident at the job? And, his mistakes in the past can be forgiving, and then he can be giving the job. Also considering, the words of Captain William Troost Ekong, speaking to how comfortable the men, them, according to Jeffrey, are beginning to feel with Coach Guavon.
I think, if the assistant of Guavon has been good, under the Super Eagles. He took us to Cameroon during the, AFCON in Cameroon, and we did well. Unfortunately, we lost out to Tunisia, and the players understand his game very well. And I think, this is the time for us to prepare well for the big one in March. And for the players, like I said, for the first time in how many years now? The second day of camp opening, all the players were in camp. Tuesday, it was full house, and it shows the commitment of the players under Guavon. And I don't think NFF want to change that pattern or want to bring another manager who will not have any game, in quotes, any game to actually understand these players before the World Cup qualifiers. So now that we have 10 points, we've considered less goals in the team, and we have 2 teams in this same group that will be playing in March. I think, of course, it's a no-brainer. Guavon have to continue as the head coach of the Super Eagles. Remember, these 2 games is just more like a competitive friendly. We need just 1 point to qualify for AFCON. So the players know the manager very well, and I think Guavon knows his onions, and he wants the job as well. Nobody wants to be called interim manager, so he wants to be called the coach of the Super Eagles. So I think after the AFCON qualifier, they have to sit together and find a way to make him the new manager of the Super Eagles. And
any eventuality should be seen independently and not be weighed against his mistakes, right?
I don't think so.
All right, Pooja, I'm happy the boys recovered psychologically from what happened in Libya, and at least we got 3 points and 3 goals that we didn't score at the end of the day. So I know Benin Republic, they're not listening to us right now, so maybe share with us what are our weaknesses and what is their strength and how we can capitalize on it.
They have one of the best striker, and they have the goalkeeper that will be imposed for them is the goalkeeper of Raymond Stars, Obasa Adebi. Of course, his coach is actually the assistant coach of the Super Eagles as well, talking about Daniel Gumodede. So he knows the goalkeeper very well. So I think he's going to do the likes of Osimhen, and I didn't want to look at his weaknesses as well when it comes to being in the post. And if you look at the first game as well, I think when we pack the midfield, the 4 players in the midfield is actually the biggest strength for Guavon, because it is now playing very well. We have Frank Oyeka in the middle of the park, we have Alex Iwobi, and it looks like that is what he's going to do again against Benin Republic. So their weakness is actually their defense line. Remember in the last game they played, they played so well, from the front line, but when it comes to their defenders, they are actually very weak. And they said, Guavon committed to the world that said they just have the best attack in the world, and it's not out of place to actually say that as well. So their defense is weak. They have the goalkeeper that we know very well. And I think, the players are ready for tonight and ready to actually qualify for that AFCON qualifiers, today in Cote d'Ivoire.
Pooja, share with us your predictions.
It's a win for the Super Eagles. You were talking about we got 3 points and 3 goals against Libya. If we have opened that game, we have defeated them fair and square. So I think, this time around, we're going to Cote d'Ivoire. We know the Felix Stadium very well. Remember, we got to the final, and Felix Stadium was actually like a second home for the Super Eagles during the AFCON qualifier in Cote d'Ivoire. So the players know very well. Osimhen is back. You remember in the first game against the Republic, he wasn't there. The last qualifier again, he wasn't there. So this is the first time Victor Osimhen is going back to that Felix Stadium. And if you know the combination of Ademola Lookman and Victor Osimhen in that stadium, I think it's home and dry for the Super Eagles. I think we are going to defeat them, and it's going to be a clean sheet.
And the fan response, is it going to be a neutral ground, for the Super Eagles, really? Or do you see loyalties dividing because, 2 other African countries besides the home country is playing?
It's going to be like home away from home from the Super Eagles. Like I said, the Felix Stadium is actually like the second home of the Super Eagles. During the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire, I think we played 3 matches at that stadium, and they love us very well. The only bad thing is we played Cote d'Ivoire in the final. So now this time around we're not playing Cote d'Ivoire. So they love our football, and we got to the final in Cote d'Ivoire, and it's going to be more fans of the Ivory Coast to the Benin Republic. So it's going to be home away from home, and I think the players have to come to party and secure that ticket tonight in Cote d'Ivoire.
All right, Suleiman Adebayo, always a delight talking to you. Pooja, we'll get to see how things play out. I'm happy we're just looking for 1 point. So if Umar Bale has to crawl to get that point, we'll have to crawl and get that point as much as possible. Thank you so much for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.